4 months after furor, with no sign of any CPS action. Nigel Farage mounts private prosecution against brothers over brutal attack on airport row police. Nigel Farage is to mount a private prosecution against the youths involved in a brawl at Manchester Airport that led to protests about police brutality. The Reform UK leader is expected to announce the move tomorrow to highlight what he regards as a two-tier justice system, in which right-wing activists are singled out by the courts for harsher treatment. The furor erupted in July after partial videos of the incident shared online showed an officer kicking 19-year-old Fahir Muhammad Ahmaz during an attempted arrest of him and his brother Ahmad. Tensions were raised further when their lawyer Ahmed Yaqub claimed the fracas had been an attempted assassination, triggering anti-police protests in the brothers' hometown of Rockdale. But dramatic CCTV footage then revealed the 3 police officers had been viciously attacked, leaving a WPC with a broken nose and another officer slumped on the floor just before the Fahir incident. 4 months later, with the Crown Prosecution Service (CPS) apparently no closer to announcing charges against the brothers, Mr. Farage has hired 2 solicitors to bring a case against them. A source close to Mr. Farage said, "It is now November, and no charges have been laid, yet those on the right of the arguments who said unpleasant things on social media and took to the streets found themselves in jail almost instantly. We have a two-tier justice system in this country." Nigel Farage is to mount a private prosecution against the youths involved in a brawl at Manchester Airport. Inside Manchester Airport, when a Greater Manchester police officer was captured appearing to kick a man in the head in a viral video. Video appears to show an armed Greater Manchester police officer kicking a detained man. The Clacton MP spoke out in the summer after rioting in English towns and cities after the Southport stabbings that led to the death of 3 young girls, saying those involved had been dealt with more harshly than other protests. The storm over the Manchester incident led to fears the officers involved could have to go into hiding as the protests grew. 2 were suspended over the outcry, and it is understood they still are. The CCTV footage shows Fahir punching a female police officer in the face, breaking her nose, before knocking down a second woman officer while his brother throws. The furor erupted in July after partial videos of the incident shared online showed an officer kicking 19-year-old Fahir Muhammad Ahmaz. The second female officer suffered a broken nose. Footage also showed Fahir throwing at least another 4 punches at the first female officer, who was knocked to her knees. By this point the male officer had got back to his feet and was aiming his taser at Ahmad. Fahir, however, is shown charging into the back of the male officer, punching him in the head then grabbing him around the neck. It is claimed the male officer suffered a suspected broken jaw and may have been temporarily knocked out. The fight ended only when the first female officer staggered back to her feet and fired her taser at Fahir, which knocked him over. It was at this point, as seen by millions in the mobile phone footage, that the male police officer kicks Fahir in the head and apparently stamps on him as he lies on the floor. The CPS has the power to prevent a private prosecution by taking it over and discontinuing it, but such a move would be highly controversial in this case.